Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome to Fantasy Forecast for Sunday, December 18th, 2016. It was an interesting day yesterday. A GPP win, but a cash game loss, and that became because there was Laker value at the last minute, and I thought that for cash games you might have to grab Ingram and just take care of business, and it didn't really work out exactly the way I planned. Right behind me is the DraftKings score, which was just fine because there was no update on that. 293. This cashed everything you played it in if you were playing it. I was GPP only, but because I'm telling people my record isn't good enough there, and it really isn't right now, even with a win behind me. But that was okay. So I have a DraftKings line for today. Let's go ahead and head over to FanDuel. This was a Twitter update that came out 7-8 minutes before. If you caught this update, you basically lost because this was 52nd, 53rd place in 50-50 games. You can see it's a 50-50 contest above me. So I mean, it is what it is. I will always pivot for last minute value because that's factually correct most of the time. And sometimes you do get messed up by it, and usually because you miss out on some other value that you had in your lineup that you took time and worked and researched on. The thing is, you look at the other choices in its place on larger slates, and you have to depend on your own skills to basically fall back to and grab those pieces and make a lineup in 5 or 10 minutes. And it's not too difficult to do. Generally, you'll win with the last minute change. A lot of times people watch this channel, it's like, oh, I missed the update. Well, if you missed the update this time, you did great. Because that lineup actually scored a 309, and that won me on GPPs. Because I did tweet to people, keep it as a GPP lineup. So, or I don't know if it said exactly that, but I said make a cash change and, but keep it for GPP, something like that. Anyways, I thought there was still good upside on my previous lineup. I thought I was losing some upside by taking the value. So, cash game pick. That's the whole point of this channel, right? Go for cash. And it was real close on cash games. 52nd place, 53rd place, but, a loss is a loss. Eat it up and move on. Let's move on to... and the early slate that I gave out as a bonus, that was a 317. That won everything everyone played it in. They don't have quintuples on those slates, but I mean, it won doubles, it won everything, so whatever. Awesome. Today's upcoming slate. Cash games. Now, it's a short, ugly little one today. Dragic at the point guard. Rodriguez at the point guard. Let's go ahead and go through this real fast. Dragic has been on a little tear lately, and he's going up against Boston. And while IT is back, Dragic still is the centerpiece of what they're doing over there. There's no one else that can handle and do. It's really underappreciated how hard it is to dribble a basketball up and down the court, and he's the main guy that does it, up and down. He creates shots. He can get it out and pass it to someone after they've already taken a position and everything. I mean, these are the reasons why people will travel when they're not accustomed to doing it. And you're like, how did that foul happen? Or well, he traveled because he's not used to dribbling a ball up and down the court. There are only certain people that have enough athleticism and skill just to do that effectively. Take Dragic and Rodriguez. Now, Rodriguez will end up splitting some time. See, the situation over in Philly is really interesting. I mean, you got Embiid in there, but you also got Okafor in there. And so they're both competing for time as the big men. But then you got Ilyasova, also at power forward. And then you got Holmes, who's been completely forgotten now and has done nothing, but was great when they were completely banged up. I mean, so they've got so many big men that they don't know what the heck to do with themselves. And they just like big guys over there. I don't know what to say. But I can say this. Against the Nets, they finally are in a good spot to possibly win because the Nets are just the worst in every single FanDuel category. That doesn't mean the Nets can't win some games too, but and it will happen from time to time. But when the Nets do win games, they're probably not going to do it by, first to 100 wins Phil Jackson. They're going to do it just because they happen to outscore that one night versus everyone else. It'll be a 130 to 120 affair. So I like that either direction. It's a tough slate today, so you kind of have to target which games you're going to go with, and I'm going to go with the game that's trending towards a 220 over-under, because there's a couple of games that are like the old school over-unders, like 184, 197 today, and you're just like, what the heck? You're like, under 200s? I don't really want to touch those games with a 10-foot pole. Kind of contrarian to do so, only if I'm forced to, right? All right. So, Dragic and Rodriguez. Rodriguez, you're just playing the Nets, and anyone against the Nets today. And your lineup should end up a little bit stacked regardless, because it's just the way it's going to be. Now, I don't like that he's splitting time out of the point guard position. Really, he doesn't get as many starters minutes. You expect a good starter to get. Just the way the coaching is run there. But if he gets hot, I suspect he'll see 30 minutes of run. And so it's a double whammy, because if he gets 30 minutes of run and he's hot, it's going to pay more than 1 fantasy point a minute. So you're looking like a 35 point, and that's a great value and a place to start stacking your lineup up. A spend up, spend down just a little, like I talked about before. You also want to construct your lineups around the perfect lineup. Kilpatrick and Hood, a complete middling approach, right in the smack middle. Kilpatrick is going. This is also if you don't know where to go, like I said, there's a coin flip. Well, then go ahead and take the guy that's in the big over/under game. This is your highest one of the day. It might be just by a couple points because a lot of the other ones around that 210 level. Just about everything is okay except for the 2 games that suck. And Utah and Memphis, I believe, is the worst of them actually. So go figure. If you're going to take a guy from that game, only one player no matter what. You have to be targeting just right. And I believe I have with them taking Utah against the Memphis side. And you really want to take Memphis guys against Utah. They all get slowed down in relative to their salaries. Utah's salaries, though, have been adjusted a bit because they're the same team every time. And against Memphis, I think they're a little bit faster than people suspect. And so Hood there is in the shooting guard position along with Kill. Kilpatrick is your verse end on that, and it's nice. It's a tough position, guys. Really tough. I'll go through it in a moment, real fast for all these things. Covington and Leonard at the small forwards. Covington take it against the Nets today, and he's also been on a little tear lately, and he's got the minutes. So just enjoy that spot and run it. I mean, out of all the coaching mess with Embiid and everything else down at the center over there, Okafor and how they're both playing. I mean, Embiid basically ran the 4 spot the other day. I don't understand. So go figure. I think that experiment's going to end soon, by the way. It will eventually. Leonard and Davis at the small forwards. Leonard, guys, he's playing the Pelicans. I almost stopped and I'm like, do I really need to explain this pick? I don't think I need to explain that one. He's just such the heart and soul of the San Antonio defense, and if it is like the 11-point blowout that they expect it to be, there's no one else on their team that can get it done. I mean, you tell me Tony Parker is going to score 20 points today, even though they're horrible at the point guard position. Pops don't let him play more than 25 minutes. So it's Leonard. Leonard all day, every day against New Orleans, because you do want to target that as well. I mean, New Orleans is going to give up some stuff in that blowout. But if it does become a blowout, and I don't know if it so much will, because I think Anthony Davis is going to be mad after the injury last night, and this is the other thing. I don't think anyone's going to be on him. If no one's on Anthony Davis, then you've got a low ownership play that's got upside to the moon today, guys. And I still think you get your 50 points. Now, since he's already gotten injured in his last game, we've probably gotten that out of us, and he's probably been patched up well enough to get through at least this one until the very next injury that we have to deal with, because he's made of glass, and we all know that. But I'm still going to keep rostering Davis, and I know it's going to piss some people off, but hey, if you want to get some savings and take Griffin, go for it. It's all you. Actually, I don't think Griffin's on this slate, is he? Who else is there? Yeah, you can't take Griffin. You'd have to go straight to Ibaka. I'll take Davis, considering the next step down is a mile down. Ilyasova, again, you're playing the big man number minutes. Now, he has been benched, kind of, with the whole Okafor situation and Embiid situation, but Embiid is kind of capped at his 28 minutes, supposedly. He played 29 his last one, because I knew that would end up happening with all these numbers running around. I mean, so Embiid has his 28 minutes. Okafor, and he's running in there with them. He gets his 20. But now that he's splitting minutes with them, there's still room for the other big men, because they like to have 2 of them on the court at all times, apparently. And Ilyasova is still your buddy, because 27 minutes against the Lakers, and then, maybe 20 before, but he's trending around 25 minutes. If he can do that, even on the bench, he's like the 6th man bencher. So I'll take Ilyasova at 55, especially against the Nets. Another target on the over-under and against the Nets. I mean, come on, you gotta love it. This is a horrible, ugly slate today. Gasol at your center. Everyone Everyone is not going to be on Gasol today, which I love. You got Whiteside up there. Oh yeah, he's going to bust 50 points today. Nah, I don't like his attitude still. I mean, he still haven't proven enough. I want to see him like give me 60 points from a game, fantasy-wise, before I'm like, this is amazing and it's worth it. Because he's already almost $9,000 again. So you need 45 every single time. And I don't know if he gets there. Let's find out. The gas can, I wouldn't take it against Utah. No way. Horford's too expensive now. Gobert, no. Bolo, you can target Bolo against Philly. I mean, Philly's going to be trying to run against them, but Bolo at least can counter back. I mean, so Bolo will be fighting for boards, and he's not in a bad spot today. Ooh, sorry about that turn. Vucevic, maybe, and then Embiid. Everyone, it's against the Nets, so I mean, he can bounce back from his crappy 2 performances, and he goes back to his like 1.5, 1.6 fantasy performance games. Great. The problem is he's got Okafor now competing with him for those very same rebounds, those very same opportunities and shots, and all those little extra things. And losing opportunity is what kills DFS lines, because normally you pay too much. I mean, you can handle if Embiid costs you $4,800 and he only gives you 25 points like he did the night before. But when he costs $6,800, that's destructive. So you got to pass on Embiid. Gasol, the Pelicans are the worst against the center by a mile DVP. You guys can look that up. By a mile and a half. I will target that all day long and give me Gasol today, especially with the way Pops runs him. And I think if there's going to be a blowout, it's going to be straight on Gasol and Leonard today. And that's how you're going to watch that game run out. And Davis will do everything he can to try to keep up. And Davis, they'll run him for 40 minutes. And he will do well, which is what I think he's in for a 60 spot today, which most people won't be saying, but I think he is. And so he runs a 60 spot, and you got your other 2, and that game actually runs well. Oh, you're going to be sitting pretty. And that is kind of how the script looks to me. If you say, no, this 12-point spread's a bit high, Vegas is wrong on that. Vegas is really smart, and most times I agree with what they're saying, over-under totals and everything else, but every once in a while you can look at a game script and you can say, no, I think that's wrong. It's probably closer than you guys think it is, or something like that, or it's probably more of a blowout than you guys think it is. All right. Other positions real fast. Anyone I should target? I wouldn't target these New Orleans guys with Davis knowing he's coming back, because you really want to target like a Frazier and a Holiday when Davis is gone, because his usage is so high. Otherwise, I mean, they're pretty much fairly priced. Maybe Patty Mills, because of the positioning against New Orleans, they're bad against the point guard. TJ McConnell is probably an interesting play, guys. Just think about it anyways. I mean, there's enough minute run there, and it's against the Nets, where that's a very intriguing play at the or at the point guard. Augustin, a lot of minutes as well. Looks like they're finally giving him starters minutes and giving him a little bit of runs, so I'd be happy with that as well. You want to take Augustin, think that way. At the shooting guard, DeRozan, you got a lot of upside, so you have to like that. I don't like Bradley today. I don't like Evans today. Not enough minutes until they really play him a full run of minutes. Then he'll be a decent pick, especially in San Antonio. Why? Fournier, ever since Vooch came back, I don't think he's paying. All of them haven't really been paying the prices they need to pay. They need to be adjusted down just a touch. They're not bad, and one or two might overperform and fool people over the next game, but I don't think you're going to see that as a smart move. Drop him to 55, and I like him. They're right at the Dion Waiters price, but he's not there. So I got Hood today. And, if he fit in this lineup, that'd be like, opportunity, because I have 100 left at 55, but until he's there, that's kind of... And I don't like taking Hood in against Memphis, but, it is what it is. And it's just the game is slow. Tony Allen, I mean, yeah. See, and you're going against Utah that way, and this is just a very tough position to field out today, because the slate is so small, guys. All right, I've gone through all the other things. Let's look at small forwards or anything else. There's Gordon Hayward, maybe because he's the heart and soul like Leonard is on the other side. You could try that as a contrarian pick. I don't think people are going to be on Utah today just because that game total is so over under. It's like 185. And I don't see much else up on here. I mean, guys like Terrence Ross or someone else could be like the GPP winner kind of stuff because, it just happens to work out that way. This is about putting a cash game. I'm just trying to point out extra GPP plays. Ibaka's been doing solid and well lately, and he could just keep it rolling. Maybe he's a 40-point fantasy guy. Maybe he's like a Thomas. I'm not sure. If he is, the price is going to keep on trending up. It's gone from like 6 to 62 to 64. So Favors is in an okay spot today, but he just doesn't get enough minutes. There's not enough minutes. So until he really gets starters run, that's the problem. None of these guys are getting all the minutes that they're supposed to be getting. Aldridge can get pulled in a blowout, so that's the problem I have with that. And Booker, I think, is an intriguing GPP play. He's got a lot of upside. And you can go cheaper down here. Patrick Patterson, solid minute run. And I think that's about it there. At the center. I mentioned this, I went through the center today. Okay, so that's it. Let's go ahead and round up the lineups real fast again. This is just cash games for your Sunday. I hope you guys are winning NFL. If you're not winning NFL, let's try to win some back here. DraftKings, your cash game lineup for today. Dragic at your point guard. Stauskas at your shooting guard. Gets enough minutes with Philly. It's against the Nets, take it. Covington at your small forward. Davis at your power forward. Gasol for your center. Rodriguez at your point guard position, or your guard. Leonard for your forward position. And Patterson for your utility slot. That's DraftKings. And on FanDuel, Dragic and Rodriguez at your point guard positions. Kilpatrick and Hood for your shooting guards. Covington and Leonard at your small forward. Davis and Ilyasova at your power forward. And Gasol for your center. All right, thank you guys so much for watching Fantasy Forecast for today. If you won some money yesterday, give it a thumbs up. If you like today's lineup, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the lineup, or you got some issues, or you want to ask me a question about another player, leave it in the comments below. I always comment one time before locks, on all these videos. And that's it. If you follow on Twitter, you'll get last-minute lineup updates. It didn't help you last night, but sometimes it does help. Most nights, I think it does, actually. You can follow on Twitter. The link's in the description. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It helps support these free videos. Thank you guys so much for watching Fantasy Forecast for this Sunday, December 18th, 2016. Go on out there and go win some big money today.